Live from Delaware, it's Hoagies and Pierogis! With your hosts, Ian DiCarlo. We're getting a little double down. Chocolate Rain. And RJ Hammond.
I just want some more hot tea in my life. Let's just say he was a good lover.
RJ, we
Yes.
made it. There is a reason for the look.
There is.
Episode 69.
We finally made it. We're here. It took some missed weeks. I almost tried to make us not get to it when I was very drunk, but we're here.
Yep. I didn't know if you wanted to go over that or not.
Yeah, no, because I need to address it. In the middle of the bar, I was a dickhead and very rude to Ian, and I really upset him.
Hold up. Can we
everyone to know? Oh,
can we
right.
go over what happened before this?
Oh, yeah.
RJ got married.
I'm a husband. That's still weird. I said to her, I was like, hey, I said something about, I'm your husband or whatever. I was like, oh, it still sounds weird to say.
Yeah. What's up, wifey?
No, no, even wife, I was like, oh, it was weird to say at work. But fiance felt weird for a little while.
Right.
But anyway, yes. Got
just
married.
wait until the kids are calling you daddy.
Oh, God. We got a while before that, hopefully.
Yes, but it was honestly a very good weekend. Got married in Ocean City. I mean, it was in the middle of a tropical storm. Input video here.
So we're in the middle of a tropical storm. Storm chasers. We're getting pelted with sand and rain.
But
A view on the boardwalk?
It ended up very good. Yes,
It was
on the boardwalk.
I was so happy when everything was a blur. Like, I think whether or not I was drinking that night or not, it all went by so fast. I feel like there's so many things that people still tell me, and I'm like, man, I feel like I was just all over the place. I was never in one spot. The dance floor was very slippery because Reagan and I watched the whole bridal party's entrance, and everyone was just drinking a beer and spilling it all over the dance floor. And I was like, well, no wonder it was so slippery. And I was tumbling all over the place and busted my pants through the middle.
That was so funny, too. We also have a picture of that. Insert here.
I was just flashing everyone.
It was so funny.
So, yeah, after the wedding, we went out to Cowboy Coast after.
My legs.
Oh, I'm dead.
At one point, I led the conga line around the whole room, and I was like low the whole time.
Oh, no. So sore. I'm still sore. I'm still recovering. I was hoping I'd get out of work early today because there's a possibility. I got out a little early, but I was hoping to get out a couple hours early the way it was looking, but it didn't. Because I was just like, I'm still exhausted, and it's Wednesday.
Yeah, I couldn't move on Monday. It was bad.
And
I didn't throw up or anything, but it was bad.
And luckily, I was smart enough to make sure I didn't have to work Monday or Tuesday, because Tuesday I needed to spend all day cleaning up and everything here and getting all our shit in. And Monday, I was still not feeling great. I puked 8 times Sunday. About the last couple times there was just nothing left. I was miserable. I just wanted to sit down, and I paid for my actions the night before for multiple things.
We kind of mementoed this. Here's the big reveal now.
Yeah. So I out of nowhere at Cowboy Coastal, I pulled a very dickhead move.
I came up to you just out of I don't even know what I was going to say to you, because the next thing that you said just shocked me to my core.
I just looked, and I don't know, just because I was wasted, it wasn't an excuse, and it is something that's gone through my head. And I told Ian, Ian does all the work. I show up and record, and I just, for some reason, sometimes I get maybe nervous or stressed out about doing it, even though I always have a lot of fun. And I looked at Ian in the middle of the dance floor, and I said, I don't want to do the podcast anymore. And I'm pretty sure I walked away, and I felt horrible about it. And I couldn't have been more apologetic to Ian the day after. I probably could have been more apologetic, but and I felt
it
was
was
such
also
a dick move.
in the tone of, you were very drunk. I don't want to do the podcast anymore. And then, you walked away.
Yeah.
I also turned around and I was just like,
Ian.
I looked at John and I was like, come here, come here.
Yeah. It's going to be one of those things that will keep me up at night. And, we're recording now and we're all good, but I can be mean sometimes when I'm very drunk. Things just come out that I really don't mean. And I'd like to say it in front of all of our audience to you, Ian, again. I do sincerely and honestly apologize for that, because that was a really bad friend move. And I think if I didn't apologize to that, I think that would not have been good for us. So I do sincerely apologize to you. That was bad of me.
I seriously thank you so much for saying that, and I do accept your apology. And I was just like so.
You were distraught.
Distraught. Yeah, I was literally. I bawled. I literally bawled, dude.
Yeah, and I saw that, and I was like, I'm too drunk. We're both too drunk to try and fix this. I'll talk to you in the morning. I recognized in the moment when I was like, now's not the time for us to talk about it because it's not good. So yeah, I was just a drunk dickhead in that moment, and that's hands up on me. I was a Philly scumbag.
This episode was almost very short and called The End. I had the perfect title for it.
Oh my god. We did discuss about just ending after 69, but I don't think the plan would have been that way if we were going to do it.
I didn't think you were serious.
I really wasn't. I wasn't. I just, like I said, I get in my head about it, and I end up having fun, and it's always great. So that was really all. Is I just let those moments where I guess feel vulnerable, however you want to say, before we podcast, or I'm thinking about the podcast, where I was like, "No, I'm done," and I was like, "Well, no, I'm not done. I've got all this stuff. I enjoy doing it. So let's move on from there. Let's have an episode." But I wanted to address it. Yes.
Dude, I was stewing on the way home. I'll tell you what I was thinking.
Killing me?
I was not even sure if I was going to text you about the podcast ever again. Like, I had thought that to myself.
That's why I texted you first, too. I was like, let's do it. I still want to do it. I'm in for it.
We were still at the bar for a little bit after you said that to me.
Oh, yeah, I know. I was.
I wanted to come across... 3 times it crossed my mind to punch you in the fucking face.
It would have been warranted, but
I would have gotten my ass beat.
In that moment, it just would not have been good for both of us, and it just would have been for the worse. So that's why I purposely maneuvered myself around. I was like, I knew in the moment that was dumb and stupid and rude, and I need to talk to him about it tomorrow. So he knows that I recognized it almost immediately.
Right. I knew when you tried to talk to me on the bus back. I knew that I realized that you had fucked up.
Yeah.
and I was like, really, I was so bitter about it for a little bit because you said I take too much work. I was like, RJ, you don't know. You don't
No,
even
I know. I don't. I do, but I don't because I do appreciate it, all that you do. And so, yeah, I was just dumb.
Dude, apology accepted. I love you,
right.
Buddy.
I love you, too. If
Fucking,
I was with you right
fucking
now,
A.
I'd kiss you on the lips. Maybe
then
like
you'd be
stash.
cheating officially.
True. I guess, yeah. She is always worried. She does always ask me, "You sure you're not going to leave me for a man?" I'm like, listen, I know I'm exuberant, maybe have a bit of a flamboyant personality sometimes, but no, I'm well aware of what I like.
In the words of Chris DiStefano, I fall in love with men, have sex with women.
feel like I shouldn't have pointed with that. Dude, I will say, last thing on the wedding, if you go back and look at any videos on the dance floor, well, especially when we did the Indiana Indians thing, I texted Corey the next day, too. I said, there were times where I thought you were the one marrying me because half the time on the dance floor, it was you and me dancing with each other. And there's a video of him just hugging me right before that we did Indians, and I was like, I guess he does like me sometimes.
I love you. Hoagies and Pierogis forever.
If we would have recorded last week, this would have been the big thing that I was mad about, and I'm still mad about, and we'll still get into it.
I haven't even watched it, and I'm mad about it.
The show that's actually ending is Winning Time. Fucking losing time. I finished season 2. Great lead up. Obviously, at the end of the last episode, they were going to lose to the Celtics, and I was gearing myself up for season 3. I even wrote on here before the end, Magic probably got AIDS from that nasty shower. That was disgusting. At the one he was sitting in at the end, which you did not see. But.
I'll see it. I'll finish it before this week because I do got to finish it.
And then after the shower scene, it just rolls into like a post-credits thing. And I was like, wait, hold up. Wait, what? It lists off the next fucking 20 years straight off of Wikipedia in a slideshow of words. It sucks. It was worse than the Game of Thrones ending. I was like, are you kidding me? It was worse than Lost. Are you kidding me? It was worse than any other show that you could think of that had a terrible ending. Why? This writer's actor strike.
I was gonna say, do you think it's that just got fixed though? Didn't it? Didn't they just recently ended the strike? I thought.
I didn't hear anything about that, but also the past 3 days my brain has been out of commission, and the past 2 days have been catching up with work.
Yeah. So if this has to do with the writer's strike, like why end it? I know it might be a little bit like I think I heard there's maybe a year and a half delay because of this shit. On certain
apparently
shows
it's been
stuff.
going on until since May. It's been going on since May.
It's been a long time, so that's why everything is would be so far behind. And if that's why, it's a good enough show where when it comes back, your HBO people watch your shows. But if this was the plan all along, as you said, why even make the show if you're just going to get to that? Like, I want to see Magic and Larry ended up becoming best friends. And I wanted to see that development. Like, that's honestly one of the things I was most excited for the show, is to be like, these two hate each other, and I want to see how the hell did they become best friends.
And then all you get in the slideshow is the words, Larry was the first to call Magic after he got AIDS. That's all you get. That's all you get between the two after it. That's it.
That's what they decided to put? That was their friends? Oh my god. Yeah. That's horrible.
There's barely anything about Larry Bird in the end in this slideshow thing.
At least with Game of Thrones, we got some content. Like a story ended. We didn't like the ending. The story didn't end in the sense of the show. They didn't close it.
Right, but
we could have gone.
I don't even know,
because I don't know if it's. I guess it's about the Lakers and everyone, but if you really wanted to transition throughout it, you could have went a long time and went even into the Dream Team. Parlay it into Michael Jordan.
Right, exactly, and have another show spin off like that. That would be really cool. But
I think they will. They probably will. And it'll end before Jordan wins his first final.
I really think if they were just gonna end it, why not have him just win it? It's a show. The guy that was on crack in the last season wasn't gonna murder everyone, right? That wasn't an actual thing.
Yeah. No.
So that was just for the show. Why not have him win it then? I'd change the ending.
That's a little different. Just having them. You could have done it where this season could have maybe.
That would have been more rewarding if I would have known that was the end of the show forever.
True. Yeah. If honestly, if they did that and it was just a middle finger emoji after and went, oh well, that would be funny.
I guess the show kind of turned this, but breaking the fourth wall, the team looks into the camera and says, "Fuck SAG-AFTRA."
Actually, like I said with the middle finger, it'd be even funnier if they all looked into the cameras like, "Fuck you guys, the show's done." I would have liked, but that's crazy.
Fuck the audience,
because I had no idea about it, and probably would have had no idea until I watched it. But when you texted me, I kind of got it, and I was like, "Dude, that's crazy." So I mean,
I was so mad about that. But yeah. I guess in other NBA news, something else exciting happened. Damian Lillard finally got traded to the Bucks,
which is crazy. That's
in a crazy 3-team trade. Let me bring up Woj's fucking tweet here.
Before you do Woj's tweet, when I read his tweet immediately, I texted Shane and I was like, NBA trades confuse me so much sometimes. And he was like, well, it makes sense for all of them. Everyone gets the pieces that they want. And I was like, no, every time Woj tweets and it's a 3-team trade, I'm like, I have no idea who's going where. Except for, I honestly had to read it 7 times before I realized where everyone else except for Damian Lillard was going.
Because it's kind of confusing how he wrote it if you don't if you're only reading it in parts, which I did.
Yep.
It said Lillard goes to Milwaukee as part of a 3-team deal with Jrue Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, and then I stopped. And then I was
Holiday.
like, wait, Jrue Holiday, all three of them are going to the Bucks? And then I was like, wait, no, Jrue Holiday's already on the Bucks. That doesn't make any sense.
And I was like,
when I read more. Jrue Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, Tumani Kamara, 2029 unprotected first-round pick.
that's what the NBA does.
And swap rights for whatever to the Blazers. The Phoenix land, Yusuf Nurkic,
Yeah.
Nurkic, and Grayson Allen, Nasir Little, and Keon Johnson. And it was funny. Did you see Grayson Allen's tweet?
No, I didn't.
He tweeted this offseason. He was like, guys, this is the last time I'll change my jersey number. And then right after he got traded, he was like, well, never mind.
That's funny. Yeah, I told you what my timeline was all, which we'll get to later.
Like that's
But yeah.
That's confusing as
The way
fuck. Like,
the way he
that's
wrote
all
the first
put
one,
together.
I was like, it said 3 teams, and I was like, wait, I was like, where did DeAndre Ayton come from? And I guess you can use context clues, but for someone who's not like, I don't know, as tuned in, I'm like, wait, where did DeAndre Ayton come into this, and where is he going to, and what, like what is happening?
right.
And yeah, so I still don't know where DeAndre Ayton's going to. Is he going to Portland?
to the Blazers, yes. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Not the Bucks, which would be insane.
And then the other thing I saw was, I guess this, the Pacers are already trying to trade Jrue Holiday again. Shit like this happens in the NBA, I guess, and the Sixers are looking to pick him up because we're the ones that drafted him a long time ago. He was part of the process. So maybe we can somehow get Harden out of here, and I'd rather have Jrue Holiday than Harden at this point, to be honest.
I think so, yeah. What a weird name to spell Drew. I'm sorry.
I know, you said J. Rue, and I was like,
J-Rue.
I just got to tell him, because that's how I would have done it too.
Vontazi. Okay. That's it for basketball. I really don't give a shit about basketball too much.
It's
to be
too
honest.
early. It's too
It
early.
is. Congrats to
Christmas.
the Phillies for making the playoffs.
I saw that, and I'm like so hyped up for Red October. But I do got to be honest. Since football season has started, I'm like back burner until playoffs. But I did well over my 20 games as promised this year. And once I knew we were good, I was like, let's get it.
You did.
Thank you. I was proud of
Congratulations, RJ.
myself. You know what? MLB, congratulations to you for making your sport a lot more digestible for us in the general public who would like to keep up with it. And I'm excited. The pitch clock is still in the playoffs, right?
The pitch clock? Yeah, it should be.
Okay. I was like,
I
oh my
think
God,
it is.
I hope we're not going back to that.
Dude, I actually hope it is. I don't know for
That'd
sure.
be crazy. That'd be
I actually
crazy
really
if it
don't
wasn't.
know.
That would be
I
wild.
think it is. I think I heard something about probably about a month ago that it is staying.
Yeah.
But they weren't sure up until a month ago.
And how fitting that it came against your Pittsburgh Pirates too.
Yeah, in a poop game.
Yeah, it was a
gotta
poop
love it.
game. It was a poopy game. I was looking through it and I was like, "Geez, this is awful."
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Mitch Keller-
I'm very excited. It looks like
Yeah.
we're kind of really hitting our groove now. Like I said, is what we were starting to slowly build before. Like Trey's just been unreal since the standing ovation. The 30 for 30 that they're inevitably make about that, whether we win the World Series or not, is going to be Philadelphia sports porn forever.
Right.
They want to call us scumbags, and look what we did for our guy. And yeah, I can't wait for Red October again. I loved it last year. It was so
Hell
nice
yeah.
to have care about playoff baseball.
Got to be happy for Josh Harrison too, who was on the Pirates for a long time. During those wild card team era.
I didn't like him a lot during the year sometimes, but
Oh, you gotta love him. He has that classic
know.
rundown against, I think, the Cubs, where he just between second and third base.
if I saw it, I'd remember it. I think I know what you're talking about. But yeah, I there's still what? Who else is Let's just who else has clinched so far? Just to give it a real quick and what once over for baseball.
So the Braves have obviously clinched.
Yes.
And Acuna is the first 40-60 player.
Hey,
No longer 30-60. It's a 40-60. And
Baltimore and Tampa have clinched. Wait, I want wild card. There we go. Baltimore and Tampa have clinched. Atlanta, Dodgers, Brewers, Phillies are the only ones to clinch. It's still up in the air between the Diamondbacks, Cubs, Marlins, and Reds. Holy wow, that could get interesting. I think the Diamondbacks are kind of safe unless they just.
I don't think the Reds are. I think the Reds are pretty much out. I think there's only 4 or 5 games left.
Yeah. So who would we play? Wild card, the number 2 wild card team.
Let's see. You guys would be the.
I need something that gives me a bracket
here.
Because the Braves get a bye, right?
The Braves get a. Wait, hold on. How does it work in baseball? I can't remember.
The 7 teams throws me out. I think the number 1 seed gets a bye because it's 7, and then there's 2 wild card series in each side.
Right. Yeah, 2 wild card series because they changed this a couple years ago. So I'm still rusty on it because the Pirates haven't made it in this format.
Wait, no, sorry. By math, top 2 teams get a bye. And then I think Brewers would play the Cubs as of right now, and we would play the Diamondbacks, I think is how that would go. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's 6. Wait, is it 6 teams from each?
I think it's.
1, 2, 3 division winners.
Yes,
and then
6.
4 wild card teams. Or no, 2 wild card teams. 3 wild card. There's 3 wild card teams.
3.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, 3 division winners, 3 wild card teams.
Maybe we shouldn't have gotten into this at all.
Wait.
That was like a Mike Francesa
we
right
did.
There. Well, hey, I'm just looking at it. We're just sitting here trying to figure it out. I say we just move on because we have gotten nowhere with that.
No, we haven't because the wild card hasn't been clinched yet. So it's kind of confusing just looking at this. I also need to look at a fucking bracket.
Yes, brackets make everything so easier.
They do. So Acuna is at 41 home runs and 68 stolen bases. And the Braves have 5 more games. Is that right?
I think so. I'm texting. Sorry, my manager just texted me, so I had to respond to her.
All good. Yeah, 5 more games. So he needs 2 more to beat a 40-70 season. Isn't that's crazy?
How many? 5 more? It. 5 more what? Stolen bases?
No, 5 more games to get 2 stolen bases.
Oh, and then he'd be 70.
Then he'd be at 40-70.
Do you
Dude,
think
he has to win the MVP. There's no way that Mookie's gonna win it over him. Fuck Mookie.
Fuck Mookie. I agree. Who?
WAR isn't a good way to compare players. It's literally said in the stat book that the person who made it said it's not used for comparing players.
Dude, I don't understand that at all, but I hear so many stat nerds use it, and they're like, this guy's not actually good because of his WAR, but some of these stat nerds in baseball suck.
Yeah, first off, there's 2 different types of WAR, baseball reference WAR and then Fangraphs WAR, which calculate it differently. So
that's like the QBR.
It doesn't even matter. It really does not even matter.
Okay, so it's just QBR. QBR.
Right.
I think QBR matters a little bit more, but one's it's dumb and the other one's not. But I don't know.
It's kind of a good way to gauge like a Hall of Fame career.
That makes sense.
Because if you have 80 to 100 WAR in, let's say 20 seasons, that's pretty damn good.
That's pretty darn good. I don't understand that stat, but that sounds pretty damn good. 80.
And if you get to that in 10 seasons, that would be even better. but you wouldn't have the cumulative stats. But the WAR still says you're as good as a Hall of Famer. So in that case, it's as good.
Okay, that makes sense. That's like, would that be similar to being like, say Patrick Mahomes retires tomorrow? Would that be similar? Like, he might not have the stats of a Hall of Fame player, but he should be a Hall of Famer.
Also, they use like peak WAR, which is like a 5 to 7 year stretch of your highest WAR. So like that's if your career's pretty short, that's what they use too.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah. There's too many stats in baseball for me.
All right,
just tell me who mashes.
Let's go to some college football. Let's get
go.
some mashing.
All right, everybody. RJ hasn't been able to watch as much, so he doesn't have too much to say this week. So
that's totally
short.
okay.
We'll be able to keep it short.
This is going to be like week 3 and 4. Let's go over like week 3 real quick.
Yes.
Penn State beat Illinois. Georgia almost lost to South Carolina, but they pulled it out. Florida State almost lost to Boston College. Florida State won 31-29.
I think that was more of that was hurricane week. That was when the hurricane was going up and down the coast.
This was like every game was on a 2-hour weather delay at some point.
Yeah, so that was ugly. There were some games where I'm like, all right, that's bad weather. What are you gonna do? We'll forget about that at the end when Florida State was wherever they're at.
But are we gonna forget about Alabama at South Florida? It was 3-3 for the longest time.
I am going to forget about it simply because they benched Jalen Milroe, who I did previously say is not the old, like the previous Alabama quarterbacks that we've gotten used to recently, but he is much better than the other two, and I do want to
much better.
I was going along on college football when we talked about Texas, Alabama, but Texas defense was getting through that line, and he was doing pretty good of like escaping that pocket and getting, turning something nothing into something. So
yes,
they have a path where they could still be in the SEC championship game. I think that game sometimes you just get games like that in college football where it's just like, what happened there? And then like Georgia last year with Kent State and Missouri, it's like, what happened there? And then they kill everyone the rest of the way, basically.
Yeah, and what I don't know. Oh man,
they're not the Alabama we're used to. They're not the Alabama we're used to now.
They're not. They're definitely not. And I agree with you that the decision to bench Milroe over the other two just to see what they had in the other two, I guess, was very weird. And they almost lost because of that.
Yeah.
Texas had trouble with Wyoming, which was really weird until the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Texas just kind of like sleptwalk, and then all of a sudden it was like, okay, let's just turn it on. Like, it's just these good teams, when they go to play these other teams, I feel like that happens where they're like, it's just whoever, and then when they when they wake up too late, you get the Appalachian State, Michigan stuff. But some of these teams are too good where it's like, all right, let's fucking get this over with.
Right.
Because Texas came back last week, and I'm pretty sure beat the piss out of Baylor. Who is?
I did not see too much from week 4, so
I didn't either. I was
let's
just
stick to week 3 for now.
Scoreboard watching. That's all.
Yeah. We'll get to one of those games. A big one here that has future implications. Washington beat the piss out of Michigan State. So I know this. You could apply the same argument that I have for USC to Washington, is that they have an excellent quarterback and they're still a Pac-12 team. But this was convincing.
Their defense is way better. Way better. And I think, listen, this might be a hot take, but do not be surprised if at the end of the year you look up and you're like, USC lost 2 or 3 games? Like, Caleb Williams is out of this world, and if he's not good in the NFL, I'll be wondering until I die how he didn't work out. But that defense is just so paper thin. Like Utah, even with their backup, they can just bully them like they did last year, and they can lose. Like, I wouldn't be... I wouldn't be surprised if this Colorado game this week is a little bit closer because they're both defense. Listen, there's going to be a million points scored there. But anyway. Learning.
The USC had week 3 off, which hurt them actually.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that. Everything here was kind of run of the mill. The game of the week obviously was Colorado versus Colorado State. We could stick on this one for a second.
I did fall asleep because I had bet on Colorado very heavily, which I did feel dumb, but
ended up working out, I guess.
Yeah, well, and it was just like, well, I bet on them to cover, and it was 21. But anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh, did you see the numbers for the game? Like I know we don't care about like views or ratings or whatever, but like, since when has a Colorado game of any kind or a Pac-12 game the past couple of years had that many viewers at that late? That means there's a bunch of people staying up on the East Coast for that.
Right. Well, it was insane. There were so many celebrities at the game, which it felt like a fucking NFL game.
Yes.
I mean, hell, you could have told me Taylor Swift was there and I would have believed you.
We're not doing that. I'll talk Dion all day, but I'm not talking that shit.
Dude, the game, spoiler, game went into overtime. Ended at 2:24 a.m. Game started at around 9:30. Oh, that took forever.
I think it peaked at like 9.8 million viewers or something at once. Like, it was something like that.
That's pretty impressive for a late game like that.
Well, and Ian, the Colorado-Oregon game that was going on the same time as many other marquee games outperformed them all, of like Ohio State Notre Dame, which never gets outdone. It's just crazy. I can't get over how crazy it is. I mean, you can like Deion, hate him. I just like being along for the ride and being like, this is just something we've never seen, and I can't wait to watch it play out.
Dude, during the game, they cut to like one of those cameos, like, oh, this is what they do at the facility. They wear janitor shirts at the Colorado State facility, and they clock in and clock out from 9 to 5. We're blue-collar workers. We're just out here making a living. Shut the fuck up.
The thing that I don't get about...
I like to take my hat and glasses off before I talk to someone.
There's such... I don't get why anyone... All these teams that play Colorado does these things like, oh, like, Dan Lanning's pick. We're doing this for clicks. We're doing this for wins. As someone's recording this speech for him, like, and the most flashy program in the world at Oregon, I just don't get why even say anything? Let's just play the game. Deion's not like, he said it. He's not talking shit to any of them. He's just like, we're going to come and we're going to try and give you our best shot. But people take what he says the wrong way.
69.
69. What else? Yeah, last week was duty.
But I thought it was funny that Deion, he still had his hat on, his visor, his hat, but he took his glasses off.
The haters.
I was disappointed.
Yeah. Oh well.
And then they turn around, bend over, and get absolutely ducked by Oregon.
I didn't think it was gonna be that bad. I'm more impressed with Oregon than I am like disappointed in Colorado. I knew they were going to get shit stomped, but I didn't know it was going to be that bad.
Right.
I'm like, Oregon's
especially
offense.
Without Travis Hunter, who took a dirty hit in that game, which was terrible for him. That shit sucked.
Terrible for him, and terrible, honestly, for the kid who did the hit dirty in the moment, but the reaction to it was, I was kind of disgusted by that. I will say, people sending death threats to that kid and his family for that.
Yeah.
That hit happens every Saturday somewhere. Maybe not every.
It was clearly late. Like, not even like a debate about it. And
with that, it wasn't
not with that attitude either. You know, there was some like vitriol behind it. It seemed. It was
the reaction to that
dirty.
was too much. Yes. Say it was a dirty hit. You don't need to be calling for his scholarship and telling him to die and his parents to die. I hate when fans do that. Like that's just...
that's crazy. It always reminds me of Pat McAfee getting the death threats for missing the kick against Pitt in the backyard brawl.
I mean, so many.
They lost the game.
Bill's kicker all the way back then, who missed the field goal. Like he had hell for years. He missed like wide right on a 22-yard field goal to win the Super Bowl in one of their 4 that they lost in a row.
Yeah.
Scott Norwood.
I know what
Is
you're
that
talking
his
about.
name? Something
I can't
Anyway.
remember his name, but yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it was a spanking.
42-6. 42-6.
Oregon is impressive. That's a damn good team, man.
Well, we got Bo Nix, and did you remember that Bo Nix started against Justin Herbert?
Oh yeah. Oh, I remember that game.
Yeah, when Bo Nix was at Auburn and Justin Herbert was at Oregon. Yeah, I do remember. I remember that being a good game.
That was when the legend of Bo Nix was born in Auburn, and then it died the week after. And then he Undertakered it when he got to Oregon.
Well, there you go. Just turned heel real quick.
Did you see last thing on that Ducks Buffs game? Did you see that the Duck came out dressed down as Dion, was smashing the primetime thing, and then his head came off? You can't do that, man.
Yeah.
And
he ran to the locker room.
You can't run. It's even worse that he ran. Just put the head on.
He was like, hide my identity.
That was crazy.
It's seriously like he ran and covered his head like he didn't want people to know who he was.
that I was like, dude, that was a bad move. You should have just put it back on and acted like nothing happened.
But a lot of it seemed like a lot of low-scoring game. Well, for some top teams, low-scoring games this week.
Yeah, again, there was lots of rain.
Ohio State, Notre Dame.
I heard that was an ugly game. I heard it was very ugly all around.
Ugly, but Ohio State won on the last play of the game.
Did you see that Notre Dame only had 10 people on the field, and where they ran it in was exactly where that guy would have been?
For the last 2 plays, they had 10 people on the field.
Oh, it was the last 2?
It was the last 2. Yeah.
I didn't realize it was the last 2.
I could
Holy
not.
shit.
I saw that and I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!" Because obviously I looked everything up on Sunday after I took my nap.
Yep. That's all I did the whole way home. I was just scrolling scores and looking at stats.
Oh, at the end, I didn't get home till 2:30, so I had red zone up in the speedometer.
Oh yeah. You used the move.
I did. I remembered it this time. I usually don't.
It's perfect.
Another low-scoring one was Utah-UCLA, another ranked 11-22 matchup.
I could not believe
14-7.
I was so confident that UCLA would win that game. Because Cam Rising still wasn't playing, and I was like, no way they lose. This Dante Moore kid I thought was for real. Mm-hmm. And that Utah defense is just nasty.
It is kind of gross. But yeah, Utah has not been scoring a lot of points. 24, 20, 31, 14.
I just
They're
don't
not
get...
as bad as Iowa, but are approaching it if they continue in the trend that they're going.
I mean, you don't have Cam Rising, he's really good. He could be a potential top quarterback for the draft by the end of the year. He tore his ACL in the Rose Bowl against Penn State, and it just seems like week to week you're like, they're like, oh, he's going to play, and then it gets to game day, and then he doesn't. And I don't know if it's to the point where he's like, I'm not going to risk it for the draft, or just can't go.
Right.
I think.
I mean, I really think that he's waiting to be 1,000%. You know,
it makes sense. It's just weird because their offense really does hum a lot better with him, and I guess right now they're just lucky that their defense has been so stellar.
Right. Well, speaking of Iowa, Penn State pitched the shutout at the whiteout. Let's go.
I'm pretty sure we're going to the Michigan game, by the way.
Ooh.
I'm not sure about going in, but we're gonna at least go tailgate. I'll have to check prices. But
maybe I'll show up then.
Suck it, Iowa. Suck it, Iowa. You scored all those points last week. You were happy. Your offensive coordinator is getting fired. Defense, love it.
31-0, Penn State.
Dude.
Oh, Penn State.
They've got me drooling, man. Like I hope, God, if we can, because I think we're at Ohio. Yeah, we're at Ohio State, but we always play them so tough. And I'm like, come on, I want that year again. Like, that was so awesome when we beat them. That's like when I became a Penn State fan, when we beat Ohio State with Trace and Saquon. Like, I want that feeling again to go in Ohio State and be like, we're better now. I think our defense is so good. Like, they've been impressive. All those, I mean, Illinois' quarterback was not great, but like, they shut down Iowa. I guess that's also not saying much, but still, like they score, and their offense looks good. I'm just so excited.
This is an exciting, consistent Penn State team that is beating everyone that they should by an appropriate amount.
They've covered every spread.
This is what should be happening.
Yes, and I think Trace was like that guy. Trace was that guy that was so close to being like the quarterback we needed. And I think Drew might be. I'm not ready to say it yet, but I think he might be because that throw.
I don't want to jinx him.
That throw, the first touchdown pass at West Virginia, I was just hard. I was like, let's go. I was like, oh my God, we've got a guy. We're like screaming at him.
Let him cook.
So we'll see. I don't know. Who do we even have this week? I think we got a couple cupcakes weeks. Northwestern. Yeah, it's not. I think we don't have that hard of a schedule until Ohio State. I just got so hyped up about Penn State right there. That was awesome.
That's sick.
Yeah, we got kind of we got a cupcake schedule until Ohio State right now. So
yeah. Washington took care of California. Florida State got away in OT against Clemson. That was
Florida
a really
State,
good game.
Baby.
Dude, I was that guy at the wedding that had my phone out because it was before they turned the TV on.
I expected everyone to. But yeah, that made me happy for Florida State. Like I said, I really like Florida State and Jordan Travis, Johnny Wilson, that Keon Coleman kid. That is why you get in the transfer portal, Dabo, you dumb bitch.
Yes.
They got him from Michigan State, and he is a stud.
I'm so glad Clemson lost. I'm so happy.
I like that Duke loss was bad, and I know we buried them. It's still Clemson. They'll still be competitive. So I didn't think Florida State was going to blow them out, but that was an impressive win for Florida State in my mind.
So another one that may have been – I don't know if they're playing Caleb Williams the whole game or not, but USC won 42-28 against Arizona State.
Is that defense?
Well, they were punished for it this week. They went down from number 5 to number 8 in the AP poll. Penn State and Washington jumped them, and Ohio State moved up a little bit more.
I think rightfully so. I think they've scored. Caleb Williams is amazing. Yeah, there's no other passing stats, so he stayed in. I'm telling you,
that's rough.
Lincoln Riley has got to get rid of that guy. I forget his name, but that defensive coordinator, he always brings some baby shit soft defense in, and it kills them. Like, Caleb Williams is amazing, but he cannot throw. He cannot score 70 points every game, especially once you get up against...
He can score 40 a game, but...
But when you get up against teams like Utah, even UCLA... Hell, Washington State might be a fucking wagon in the Pac-12. Like, those are teams that... Oregon, teams that have defenses that can slow you down enough, and their offenses might be good enough to beat them. And that's why I think don't be surprised if they're a 2-loss team at the end of the year. I think it's possible. But they can figure it out too. That's college football for you.
Yeah, I think it's definitely possible. USC's schedule coming up. Well, they have Colorado next. So, and Travis Hunter has already said that he wants to play against them. Like, he'll make a difference.
Yeah. He'll try.
But then they have Arizona, then they have Notre Dame. So
that's not an easy game either. Notre Dame's defense is awesome. And
that's what I'm saying. It's not an easy game. We'll see. Like, that'll be their first, like, real test.
Their running back, Audric Estime, I guess someone interviewed him. He's like, that Ohio State win, they're pissed off now. Like, they're ready to go out and go fuck shit up. So I am very excited for that.
I did not watch a single second of the game besides the last play. So I don't know if it was like there was a lot of turnovers or if they just didn't convert. I just don't know. Defense. I don't know.
I can probably tell you if there was any turbo. I just think the defense was just not good. I think it's just.
And Ryan Day still absolutely looks like Bert Kreischer.
Oh, we need to talk about Ryan Day for a second. Did you see his after his post-game press conference?
Yeah,
where he just eviscerated Lou Holtz for no reason, really. Like, what? He's just yelling about Lou Holtz, and people have said this joke already, but Lou Holtz was definitely asleep already. He was not still awake. He was asleep before your game started, Ryan Day.
Jesus. Isn't he? Is he dead?
No, he was on the McAfee show, the other day, like that week, and that's why he was mad. He said Lou Holtz said something like Ohio State's been soft under Ryan Day, which they really have. But I think Ryan Day's heard it from everywhere, and then you have old ass Lou Holtz talking to a guy imitating Lou Holtz in a Lou Holtz mask, saying,
"That's
pretty good, actually. It's not bad." And just saying they're baby shit. And I think after they kind of did grit out and played tough that Notre Dame game, he was probably just like, fuck that old man. I'm going out there and I'm just going to let it rip.
Dude, maybe the end goal for this podcast is to be on college football host shows, because Lou Holtz and Lee Corso refuse to die.
Dude. Why do they keep bringing? I think I said it last. Why do they keep
400 headgears?
That's we should stop at 400. That's why they brought Pat. Pat's the new Lee, and Pat will be on there until he dies, or he'll be doing wrestling matches
at
until he dies
because of a heart attack.
Probably something like that. But you know what? I will say, I was like, good for Ryan Day for showing a little bit of, gusto or whatever you want to call it there. But it was so random.
A little bit something more than a drawn-on beard. I mean,
yeah.
That was nice. Okay. Anything else for college football? I mean, what else happened last week? I don't think anything else happened last week.
So I guess this is why I will say I don't think Alabama was that bad. Is because they did. It was 24-10, but they did, from what I understand and what I've listened to, just kind of pummel Ole Miss.
They did, actually. I was watching that game for a little bit, and Alabama did look pretty good.
Yeah. So, and I don't know why Lane Kiffin just every time they play Alabama, he will praise Nick Saban, but also be like, "We're gonna get him," and it's like, "Well, no, you're not. You haven't yet." But that's it.
Yeah, he's been saying that for 5 years now.
Yeah.
Maybe next time.
I mentioned Washington State already too. Beat Oregon State. Good team.
Yes, that was a really good. That was a good one for them. For Washington State.
Cam Ward, apparently, I need to go watch some highlights, but their quarterback apparently is just electric. Like, he is just putting the team on his back and
I see here, 404 yards, 4 touchdowns. Damn.
Like, Ian, any team that's semi-bad or is even semi on the fence about their quarterback in the NFL this year should literally just give up and take a chance on anyone coming out this year. I just think there's so many good quarterbacks.
I really do like Michael Penix.
He's damn good. I mean, I've heard Bears fans be like, if Carolina and us are so bad, we can have the first and second pick, and maybe we'll just take Caleb Williams and Drake May and hope one of them works out.
I haven't liked what I've seen out of Drake May too much this year.
Oh, dude, he's good.
I know he's good, but he's just not. I don't know.
He's pro good.
I don't know. He looks too much. He looks too much like Brandon.
Well, if that's your dilemma, you should have led with that.
I'm joking. But it's really like I don't know. Watching him doesn't inspire the most confidence in me.
He's not so. We're gonna get into the stars and recruits argument again here, but he's not surrounded with the same people some of these guys are that he has at North Carolina. Like,
okay, I understand that.
They're a good team.
I understand that argument specifically.
Okay. All right. I wasn't sure if that was going to lead us back down that road.
No.
Because that's why Sam Howell ended up looking... He was really good that one year because he had really good wide receivers and running backs. And then after that year, it was all downhill because everyone else around him was really, really bad. And Sam Howell...
Yikes. Do you just want to get into it then? Sam Howell got killed by the Bills.
He might have a bad weekend this week because he comes to Philly, and let's save all the Philly stuff for last because let's talk NFL. We can let's start with the Bills. The Bills are back on track.
With college football, we'll start with week 2 for NFL and then week 3.
Can I suggest this? Maybe a different way to go about it. You can tell me no or not. What if we just went? Maybe not team by team. We can probably skip some teams, but be like, let's go over this team's past 2 weeks and then move on.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, I'll pull up the teams. Let's go.
So, I mean, the first game of week 2, which had me a little bit worried for them, was the Eagles game.
Yeah, let's just lead off. Let's just lead off with the Eagles altogether.
Yeah, that was a little bit concerning for me. I really did. I was scared for them against Tampa Bay, to be honest with you. They just squeaked past the Vikings 34-28, even with like 5 fumble recoveries against them. Jalen Hurts had like 184 passing yards. I was like, against the Vikings, I was like, I was a little bit reserved.
Our offense, the run game looks amazing. I mean, DeAndre Swift
has been killing it the past 2 weeks.
Exactly why I was asking after week 1 why we didn't put him in. And then we put him in and he proceeds to immediately become the Eagles' leading rusher in one game in week 2.
What did he get, 175 yards that
157, 157 I believe it was.
Holy shit.
I think he passed Shady for... Oh, no, 175. You were right.
175.
Yeah.
Damn.
So he passed Shady for the most yards by any Eagle. I think it was Shady. This game...
Either Shady or Westbrook.
Yeah, it was one of those two. But this game, it was like... I went in confident. I don't ever like playing the Vikings because you never know. You got Justin Jefferson. Defense was questionable at some points, but I mean, our defense has been like a turnover machine. So that's been great. Run game looks great. Pass game, I still have questions about, even though in rainy, shitty weather with Jalen Hurts under the flu and a couple other players, he threw
Hurts his flu game.
He threw for 277 against the Bucs the other day. So the offense, I'm still like, it still feels like there's some kind of disconnect with the A.J. Brown thing after the Vikings game. We immediately fixed that this week. We were force feeding A.J. this week.
I think that was a really big focus for the Eagles, was to, hey, let's make the passing game work any way we can against the Buccaneers.
Yes.
Who have been very impressive, honestly, early on. Bucko Baker has been impressing me.
He has been. And even for parts of that game against the Eagles, he looked all right against our defensive line, who Jalen Carter, oh my God. Corey and I were texting each other, just basically just jerking off the whole time watching the game the other day. I mean, and anytime Hurts has made a mistake or turnover, the defense had literally. I'm literally 100% sure that they immediately get the ball back with a turnover. I'm pretty sure every time we have turned the ball over, we've gotten it right back.
Now that he actually did tank his draft stock to get drafted by the Eagles, because he looks like a monster now. He shedded so much weight, and he looks so much more fucking fit and scary.
I can't tell you how much tape I've just watched on him. I watched Baldy break down the safety play, and literally he's just him and Jordan Davis are just tsunamiing four guys just on top, and there's no hole, and they're just so big and plug up so much space. And he only played 50% of the snaps, Ian. 50% of the snaps, and you were like, this guy's all over the place.
He's kind of playing as much as Jordan Davis did last year, but he's showing even more crazy flashes of being insanely good.
I think they're two very different, very good defensive tackles in the way that they play.
They are different, but I expected them to be the same with how much weight Jalen Carter gained.
And Jordan Davis is just plug the gap and don't let anything through you. And it seems like Jalen Carter is just I'm gonna wreck shit type guy. And
at the worst, I thought that's what Carter was gonna be. Was Jordan Davis.
I can no longer. I apologized while this game was on when Howie, our GM, came onto the screen for how mad I was at him because of Jalen Reagor and things like that. Because in pretty much every single one of our draft picks from last year, and I think 50% this year, were either starting or playing significant snaps in that game last night. Sidney Brown, that Illinois guy, that pass breakup, that was. Oh my God! I cannot contain my excitement over the defense. I loved it last year, but these guys have me being Hassan Reddick, and he's still on the team. It's crazy. And Reed Blankenship was all over. But anyway, yeah.
Getting the rust out in weeks 1 and 2, week 3 looked much better.
I'm hoping to get the rest of the chinks out against the Commanders with the offense, because it seems like that's what the Bills kind of helped finish with themselves, because the Commanders do have a solid defense on paper,
right?
But I just want to see that get that confidence that I really had with any time Jalen stepped back last year. I haven't been as confident this year.
Well, that offense is okay, so are the Commanders bad, or are the Broncos just even worse and made the Commanders look good for a game? What is going on? So there in that game, in that Commanders Broncos game, that was almost the craziest last play I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, it's been so long. It feels like forever ago. I can't believe that. That was crazy.
So it was, 35-27? Yeah, 35-27 Commanders. Broncos convert the Hail Mary, so it's 35-33. But the Broncos can't get the 2-point conversion to tie the game.
Oh, man. And then,
I asked John about that, and he was like, "Oh my God, I was shitting myself."
I'm sure.
And I asked my coworker, who's also a Commanders fan, and he was like, "Oh yeah, oh my God, I could not believe it."
And you know what? They were like, "Who? We escaped?" Oh no, the Broncos. Sorry, not the Commanders. But the Broncos. They were probably damn, close loss. Let's go to Miami. Maybe we can fight. And Miami.
Hey, we're going down to the shore. We're gonna have a fun time. Everyone's gonna have a blast.
No one's gonna say they're sick of losing after 7 years. No one. I mean, Ian, that might have been the most fun, boring game I've ever watched in my entire life. I never turned it off because every time I turned around, there was a Dolphins player just streaking down the field faster than I could ever believe.
Yeah, Miami had a vice grip on the Broncos.
They castrated them boys. But
So that was at that point. That was the time that I went to sleep. It was like I can't even remember what time it was.
Up. I remember,
But
late,
it was
you were
before the onslaught. It was 35-13 Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was having fever dreams. Touchdown Dolphins. Oh, turnover, go back to sleep. Touchdown Dolphins. Oh, turnover, go back to sleep.
like, Ian,
I
no, you
didn't
weren't
check the
dreaming.
score until 6 o'clock. And I was like, 70.
I knew it was going to be an issue when the first play, Tyreek Hill caught a ball wide open, just anywhere close to him, and took it to the house.
I have Tyreek in my work league.
But I never thought that it was going to get that bad. Devon Achane. I remember watching him at A&M last year, and he was good.
Hey, Devon A. Chan. Devon A. Chan.
What is that? I don't get that. Is that some internet
That's
thing I
what
don't
he
get?
says. Nope, that's literally
Chan.
what he says.
Oh, that's how he pronounces it.
It says Devon A. Chain in the media guide, which is what a lot of people were going by. But it is from his mouth, Devon A. Chan.
Well, they were saying it wrong on the they were saying it wrong both ways on the broadcast anyway. But that guy,
Yes.
did you know? So you know how they have these next gen stats and stuff and whatnot, and I'll actually pull it up. But I'm pretty sure the fastest speeds recorded by players this year, the top 5 or 6 are all Dolphins.
All Dolphins. They all had them in this game.
Ian, did you know? I didn't find this out until Monday. Jalen Waddle didn't even play in that game.
He didn't.
no idea.
No, I knew that.
Nope,
Yeah,
missed
I
that.
knew he was out. Yeah. I love the picture of Chan in front of 6 Broncos on the ground.
Yes.
Insert here.
And you know what? Mike McDaniels, it was so much even more of an insult that you kneeled it. You should have just never stopped and just kicked the field goal at the end there. And Russ,
I don't know. I think he didn't want bad karma from the vape gods.
maybe not. Did you hear that whole story that they didn't even consider him and he was like a ball boy for the Broncos forever ago? So
Yeah, I saw that picture circulating of him, and he looked like a white fucking white. Oh god damn it! I'm fucking this up so bad. He looks like a white Dennis Rodman. It was weird.
Oh yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right. Oh my god. What is this? Yes, is this the speeds? Yes. Okay, here it is. The top 5 are all okay in order. The top 5 fastest players this year: Devon A. Chan, Tyreek Hill, Raheem Mostert, Tyreek Hill, Devon A. Chan. And then
Wow.
that's
That
scary.
is insane. But I thought Tyreek was the fastest though still.
No,
Or is he the second fastest to
A-Chan, he's I think he's third
Ooh.
most or yeah, he's second or whatever. But Ian, we're supposed to
Jesus
wear Kelly Green against the Dolphins, and I'm very giddy about our defense. But I want to call in and be like, we should just wear it at a different game. We could win this game, but we got
it's a home game though, right?
Yeah, but I don't. We just
You gotta. You have to give them that extra momentum the Eagles needed.
listen. Things could be different by that time, but they looked like they were never going to lose the rest of the season.
But the reason that I'm not freaking out about the Patriots is that they made the Dolphins look exactly the same as they made the Eagles look in Week 1.
You guys have a very good defense as well, and Christian
That
Gonzalez
was
is
incredible.
stellar.
Cole Strange was 2 inches away from becoming a household name.
Ian, I
wanted it so bad.
I was screaming here. I was like, "That's Ian's guy! That's his guy!"
I wanted it so bad. But also, that gave me flashbacks at the Raiders game last year, though. So it was also like, no, don't do it again.
Yeah, I bet that time stood still right there for you.
It really did. But 24-17. So the Patriots started out 0-2. A little. I don't even know if you could say this is a barometer for anything, but they beat the Jets 15-10.
That game probably didn't make you feel as great about Zach Wilson, did it?
Well,
not Zach Wilson, Mac Jones.
Listen, no, hold up. Well, the defense looked amazing. The Jets scored that touchdown in garbage time.
No, your defense obviously looked great. But I'm saying, with Mac Jones, I don't know how he looked during that game to you. I just saw stats where.
Well, it was obviously like it was the whole drive home. It was raining like crazy in New York.
That's right.
In the Meadowlands. So it was Stevenson dropped a couple passes out of the backfield. It was a little bit sloppy, but I mean on both sides it was sloppy. There were like 6 3-and-outs for the Jets, safety for the Patriots.
You're 0-3, awesome. And me and all other NFL fans want someone just to bury you guys and to suck for the rest of the year, but I can't help.
1-2.
Sorry,
1-2.
Not 0-3.
I will not take that 0-3 slander.
No, I didn't mean that. Sorry, I was thinking. I don't know what I was thinking. 1-2. People want you guys to just get buried just as much as I do, but I can't help admit your defense is good and Mac has looked all right. Your offense has looked a lot better. So I could see you guys sneaking into the playoffs, but it's tough in that conference. Is all.
Well,
you could be 10-7 and out of the playoffs.
Right. Well, guess what's on the docket next week?
Who's that?
Zeke revenge game.
Oh, I hope he kills him. I'm not ready to get there yet. But let's go back Dallas. With the Jets.
I'm just saying. I don't want to go into next week either, but I'm just saying.
Might be the first time I'm cheering for Zeke. But yeah, and then who did the Jets play in week 2 then? I mean, that was Jets. They played the Cowboys. Let's just talk about the Cowboys anyway. I don't want to talk about the Jets anymore. They're a dumpster fire. Carson Wentz got denied by them, which makes me laugh.
Well, can we? They did, but can we talk about how they actually do have to? You have it here. How they actually probably do have to make a decision if Zach Wilson does terribly this week again.
Did I write down on there who I think it should be?
Kirk.
I just have the scores up. The Vikings are 0-3.
Perfect.
If they keep not looking great, is this a situation where Minnesota's like, Kirk is on his last deal. The Jets can get him for the year. They don't even have to sign him. But you get Kirk to at least may not win the Super Bowl, but he'll get you to a record to maybe play 1 or 2 playoff games to get your younger guys some experience for when Rodgers comes back. Like, he would be there. The Jets and San Francisco are 2 perfect Kirk Cousins teams where the defense is so good that if he messes up, they'll still be fine. Like, if Kirk Cousins throws interceptions for the Vikings, if it's in plus territory, the other team's scoring points. Like, they're not stopping them. Their defense is not good.
I'm trying to think of who's on their last year. Obviously, I think Cousins is probably the perfect scenario for them where they don't have to re-sign him next year. They can still keep Rodgers. There's no cap hit for next year for Cousins. I don't know.
Like, I don't think there's anyone. Like, if the Bears truly decide they're... Never mind, that won't work.
Is Goff on his last year? But the Lions are rolling.
No. I mean, the Lions aren't getting rid of Goff.
The Lions aren't going to change anything.
Goff has looked great. I thought he's looked great since he's been in Detroit. I mean, the 49ers signed a bunch of people. Sam Darnold redemption story in New York? With that defense and Garrett Wilson?
What if the Packers start losing? Is Love on his 5th-year option?
I don't know if they'll do that. He's looked pretty darn good.
He has actually. He's been one of the top scoring quarterbacks in fantasy.
Yeah, he's been pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
But on the other side of that game,
I don't know.
yeah, I don't know what we'll do with that. They got to do something. They have to.
They have
I
to.
don't know what it will be.
I keep seeing people saying that Saleh is lying to that locker room if he says
Otherwise,
that Zach Wilson is the guy.
Like, otherwise, you have to, if you're not going to try and aggressively pursue someone, you gotta just be like, let's just get a fucking high draft pick for Aaron. Get a highly rated offensive lineman. Get more weapons. Get him something. The man's been begging for a first round wide receiver. Give him another one. He's got Garrett Wilson. Give him another one. Give him Keon Coleman.
Kirk Cousins with Garrett Wilson would complete my life because I have Garrett Wilson in fantasy.
That would be very awesome for you.
God, just turning him into Justin Jefferson. Wow.
He could. I mean, he easily could.
We were on the Packers for a second there. The Packers played the Falcons week 2.
And
I believe in the Falcons a little bit. What's going on?
I didn't know that they had a good defense all of a sudden.
They've been building it up like through the draft a lot with their early picks.
I had no clue. Drake London apparently
outside of
Pitts
all right. And Drake London, yeah.
And I mean that running back duo is just amazing. That's awesome for them. And Ritter's played serviceable to keep them in games. So
I'm a Desmond Ridder believer. I think
this NFC
I think
South,
I am.
This NFC South, other than the Panthers, I think the Panthers are truly going to be bad, unfortunately, for Bryce. But like that NFC South might be very interesting at the end of the year. Now this could all change. Mm-hmm. I'm excited for Jameis. We're getting a couple Jameis weeks. Oh yes! I'm so excited. Oh, I'm so giddy for
AC sprain for Derek Carr.
That game was. I couldn't get that game. That when Jameis came in, and I was like, "Oh, I need Jameis."
Oh, Jameis. But the Saints are one of the teams that I'm not too excited about necessarily.
Kamara's back this week. That excites me. We get Kamara and
that's
Jameis.
That's exciting.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
I'm ready for this stuff. I might be really tuned into the Saints game this week. Who do they play? Oh, the Bucks. The Saints and Bucks. That could be kind of a fun game.
That's going to be a defensive slog.
Bucko Baker slinging it around the field while Jameis is slinging crab legs and doing whatever to
I think. Well, I was gonna say I was a Desmond Ridder believer until they played the Lions this week. The Lions are looking good.
The Lions are very impressive. Montgomery is questionable this weekend, so we might get a bit of a Jahmyr Gibbs breakout game. I think he might be seeing what's his name over there, Bijan, kind of having his time. He might be ready to be like, it's time for me to show my shit.
We're going to use Gibbs in ways that you won't even think of. On the bench 50% of the time.
Oh, it's so frustrating.
It is. It really is. Okay, so do you have a good transition for this?
Well, Ian, we had a. I don't know if you noticed the pattern we were doing. We had such a great pattern going there. We were going from one team week 2 to a team week 3, and then we talk about their opponent, and then go back, and we got lost somewhere. But we had it going great.
We did.
I wanted to point it out, but I didn't know if we both knew it because I was like, "We're gonna lose."
It was from the Falcons to the Saints, and from the Saints back to the Falcons, and then
we got to the Lions. The Lions week 2 played the Seahawks. They lost to the Seahawks in week 2.
Yes, I actually did one of
So
that was
I'll track it.
Game of the week. That was game of the week 2.
Yes, I'll track it for us over here for the games. I'll tell you who we got to go to next.
Gino's just slanging it. Metcalf was making some great catches.
Kenneth Walker back was just running around the field all over. I love
Kenneth
that
Walker
guy.
looked great. Catching
pretty
balls.
sure-
It was, oh my God, he did really well this week.
I'm pretty sure Zach Charbonnet too, their rookie, had a pretty good, decent past 2 weeks. Like he's been running all over the field. They look good. They look a lot better than they did in that week 1 matchup against the Rams. So, and then they move on week 2 and play. Not if there weren't some other games this week, another like game of the week between them and the Panthers, 37-27. Andy Dalton.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, Andy Dalton, Adam Thielen. Who knew?
Yeah. I said Andy Dalton. I put it in the notes and then deleted it. I said Andy Dalton playing in the most exciting game he's been in since he was on the Bengals.
I almost picked up Adam Thielen this week. I was like, I'll hold off for now. Let's see if it's real. But, yeah, holy shit. As long as fucking what's-his-name is out, Bryce is out for the Panthers.
Yeah.
Bryce Young.
I just was so high on Bryce, and I still am in the long term. I think he was just so calm and collected and still does, even though it sucked. So
right.
They don't even get the first round pick if they suck this year.
I know this isn't following our formula, but how does that Wonderlick look now?
Who was really bad at it?
CJ Stroud.
Oh, that's perfect. We can do that. I'm okay with that. We can go off
CJ
that.
Stroud has been kind of low-key lighting it up.
He's been getting better. And he's got Tank Dell. I forget where he is from, but I remember that name
Tank
from
Dell
last
just
year.
broke out. Houston or SMU. I can't remember.
Might be SMU. But yeah, I remember that name last year running all around the field.
Houston.
I've been waiting for John Mechie to, come back and be great like he was at Alabama, but he's like 4th string right now.
Yeah, he is. I don't know if he was like involved very much last year. As
leukemia last year.
Well, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't know if you. Well, I wasn't sure if you knew.
But
I was like, did you know he had leukemia?
But if someone has a torn ACL, they're rehabbing while
I forgot. That's
reading
true.
the playbook or learning the playbook or something. I don't know if he was necessarily focused on that.
I did forget that he tore his ACL at Alabama the year before too. So that's a good point by you.
Well, I didn't know that. I was just using that as an example
No,
of
but
like
you're right,
a different injury that someone may have coming into the league.
Yeah, but you actually were double right, and you didn't even realize it. So then they played. So what? Week 3 they played.
They dismantled the Jaguars, and the Jaguars are looking bad.
Jaguars. Did they lose last week too?
Yeah, to the Chiefs.
Oh yeah.
In what was an ugly game, it was 17-9.
It was
Chiefs.
It was one of my games I've had blocked out, which I've learned.
Yeah, because I thought it was going to be a good game, and it was just shitty.
It was just shit. So I wasn't that upset that I missed it. But yeah, the Texans, they had a fullback run back a kickoff, which is crazy.
Oh yeah,
saw
he
that.
fumbled it. Yeah, he muffed it too. Yeah.
He dropped it. He was on Pardon My Take that I was listening to today, and it was very funny listening to him talk about it. He was yelling, "I got it," and he was like, "I shouldn't be doing this." And some guy was kind of behind him, said he got it. And he's like, "Well, I can't bail out now." He dropped it. He was like, "Fuck!" Picked it up and was like, "I guess I'm going." And he was like, "I just had no idea what was going on, and all I could think when I scored was trying to catch my breath because I was also on the kickoff team, so I was going to go out there and cover the kickoff."
Oh my god.
And his coach. He told his coach, and his coach was like, "You can sit this one out." He's like, "Thank God."
Thank you. That's hilarious. Oh my god. But yeah, Houston looking. I don't know, man. I like Houston now.
They can.
I wasn't too hopeful about him week 1.
They're feisty. I'll put them in feisty where maybe they'll Well, they already did upset someone, and they'll maybe upset a couple. But
Damian Pierce looked better this week too.
Yeah, they'll be in games. They'll be around. The really good teams will do what they do to them. But other than that, they could be a semi-good team. But they're still going to want to be lower because they're going to need D'Amico Ryans. I think is going to want to pick up some big boys on that defense.
Yeah. And since Jacksonville has just been humiliated the past 2 weeks, I really don't even want to talk about Jacksonville.
Nope. And do you want to talk
bright
about
spots.
The Chiefs? Because then we got Bears, Chiefs. I don't want to talk about the thing. I don't want to talk about the thing.
Right. Well, we'll just say that the Chiefs embarrassed the Bears.
Yes.
It was pretty bad.
Travis, what a smart move of you to bring her to the Bears game, you brilliant bastard. Anyway,
seriously,
so the Bears
really
bad.
Need to shake that one off.
I wasn't ready for that. It caught me off guard.
Make the Bears see red,
Yeah. It's not 1985 anymore.
You know what?
Man,
it really didn't feel like 22 people were on the team total.
No, it didn't.
11 offense, 11 defense. That was a little bit of a stretch.
Here you go. No. You had it. Because, I mean...
a little wordy.
I mean, that defense, they were just leaving blank spaces all over the place. That defense is just awful. And all they were doing the whole time, they were just like, Patty, why you gotta be so mean? I
wish I knew more Taylor Swift songs now.
I can go. I think I got a couple more, but we can move on.
Fuck.
All right. So we should need to talk about the Ravens and the Colts still. No. I liked it. I'm just
the Ravens and the Colts. Yeah, the Colts they won in overtime, right?
They did. I don't know what it is with the Ravens. I called them in our things. I'm pretty sure I called them the Baltimore Hospitals because, my God, if you're on the Ravens, you just can't stay healthy. And I just don't get it because, like, the defense, I've watched some baldy breakdowns of their defense. They communicate so well and move. And, I mean, it wasn't even Anthony Richardson, for God's sakes. Like, the offense just, like, looked so horrible for them, and I don't get it. It can look so good one week and then just look so, ugh. 1 week against
this one wasn't about the Tuckers. This one was about the gays.
It was.
Matt Gay outperforming Justin Tucker.
It's not that month anymore. They had their time.
Well, I was making a joke.
I know.
At their expense.
And then
those peoples.
But before they had this disappointing loss against the Colts, they had a pretty damn good game against the Bengals. They looked very impressive in that game last week. It ended up being kind of close, but for most of it was like, are the Bengals just gonna, kind of run it down their throat this whole time?
Well, apparently the Bengals suck because they almost lost against the Rams too, in what was a Super Bowl rematch that nobody wanted to watch.
I think we need to maybe think the Rams might be kind of good. I think we might need, because I think Bengals defense is pretty darn good. Puka Nacua, Tutu Atwell, Cooper Kupp isn't even playing. This Kyron Williams, Stafford looks good. We might. Aaron Donald's still around. Aaron Donald's
Stafford
still around.
Back? Is Stafford going to be your comeback player of the year?
Like, I don't know if he's going to beat the dead guy. Well, I mean, if he goes and wins another Super Bowl. But he is... You just doing that, I couldn't help it. They've been damn impressive, and I think Stafford got hurt last year and was like I'm pretty sure we might have talked about Stafford retiring and like that. And
well,
them
I
being
mean,
the worst.
His career kind of. I mean, it's been talked about several times on NBC Sunday Night Football. Him and Clayton Kershaw's careers kind of like they mirror each other. It's weird. Everyone thought Clayton was done after his, I think, shoulder surgeries and stuff. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of shit wrong with him. He came back and had one of the best, his past 2 years, it's been pretty good for him. This year a little bit more injury prone, but I mean, Stafford's coming back strong too now.
300.
He threw for 300 yards against the 49ers. Week 2.
49ers, still very good. That's
still very good, yes.
Yeah, we'll just keep with that for the 49ers. We still need to talk Chargers and Titans as far as teams.
And Browns and Steelers.
Yeah, Browns and Steelers. So let's wrap those up and let's get the people out of here, Ian.
Okay. Let's get the most boring one out of the way, the Titans first. The Titans are just meh.
They're like,
I mean,
but
I love Mike Vrabel. Don't get me wrong.
Like they're like
Who'd they play week 2? The Browns. They got obliterated by the Browns, who have one of the best defenses. The best defense in the league right now.
I think they're ranked number 1.
In a lot of categories.
I think on fantasy they're ranked number 1.
Yes, that too. I have them in my work league.
Did you see the video of the Titans having 2 tight ends blocking Myles Garrett? So he ran to the other side of the line. So then they followed him. So then he ran back, and then they got a delay game penalty because they were trying to block Myles Garrett.
So the tight end's gonna get set.
Yeah,
wait, that's hilarious.
Oh, dude,
I did not see that. No,
I'm pretty sure I saved it. I gotta send it to you. You gotta put that in because I was crying. I was like, I forgot how amazing this guy. We're in an era of some elite defensive players all around because on the other side of one of those games, TJ Watt, I text Shane every time I am fully tuned into a Steelers game, and I'm like, I don't know how he doesn't single-handedly just win you games every week because every time I'm like, oh, he's about to sack the quarterback.
It was insane. I could not believe that he is already the Steelers sack leader.
Oh,
81 and a half sacks past James Harrison in that game against the Browns.
I think this will be my bold take of the year. I think someone this year will break the sack record, and it will be before week 17. So it will be legitimately breaking the sack record.
Who has it now?
I think
is it Donald?
It's LT and
someone broke it.
No, TJ Watt tied him. TJ Watt
tied him.
TJ Watt tied him in 14 games. 14 games that year.
Whoa.
Because he didn't even play every single game.
Jesus.
I'm pretty sure that's correct. I hope I'm not talking out of my ass.
No. League single season sack record is 22.5, shared by Watt and Michael Strahan in 2001.
Oh, Strahan. So I was wrong about
LT, but Strahan is still a giant.
Yeah. So Strahan and Watt, but I was still right about Watt. That's who it was. And Strahan's last one was fake. People say that. He just kind of, I think it was Favre, just kind of laid down for him.
Oh, whatever.
That's just me being a Giants thing.
There'll never be more than 16 games.
Yeah. Chargers are they're just doing typical Charger shit on us. They're charging up and they're charging down.
Before this week when they beat the Vikings, even this week when they beat the Vikings, I think Brandon Staley needs to be fired. Seriously, I
all
really
over
think
the
he
place.
needs to be fired.
He's inconsistent. He's
I don't know why they ever got rid of Anthony Lynn. It didn't make any sense to me.
Anthony, I think
that move did not make any sense
it
to me
shouldn't have
for
been Brandon
a
Staley.
young white offensive coach. That was the only promise. That was it.
Yeah.
And he's a shit head coach.
He's inconsistent is what
Bad.
I like. Like his first year, he was always going for it on fourth down and stuff like that. Like he was aggressive. And then now it's like he'll either be aggressive or he'll be super conservative one game. And it's like, dude, there'd be one thing or the other. Like Doug Peterson is one of those guys. Nick Sirianni now is one of those guys. Like we're gonna go for it, and like we'll deal with it on the other end if we need to with the consequences. But we're gonna go for it.
I don't know. Staley doesn't even have that like air about him that Doug Peterson or like Ron Rivera does. Like it just seems he just comes across as like a pussy. I don't even know. It's different, and I really don't know how long that team's gonna stay together. Well, Mike Williams tore his ACL too this weekend, so that sucks.
Jesus. Keenan Allen was stellar. He had 18 catches. That's crazy.
Yeah, for 217 yards, 2 touchdowns, right? Like
Yeah,
55 fucking points.
Like that's a lot of yards, but I mean 18 catches is insane. Like that means he just like chunked his way there, which is even crazier.
The Steelers kind of bring this around, and then we'll save kind of the most gruesome thing for last. Steelers are doing pretty well. They actually beat the Raiders, and since the Raiders were the first team we talked about, Josh McDaniel just made a really dumb decision.
Yes, he did.
They were down eight with 2:22 left to go. Decides to kick a field goal on 4th and short in their own territory.
It is so funny that Jimmy Garoppolo.
He missed it. He missed it, didn't he?
No, he made it, but
it was 20. Oh, okay.
Like he got the field goal, and then they just never got the ball back. But Jimmy Garoppolo has been on both sides of this situation now in his career, where he was on the winning side in that NFC Championship game against the Packers when Matt LaFleur decided to kick the field goal with like 2 minutes left, down 2 scores. Like,
doesn't make any sense to me.
How does anyone do that?
So conservative for no reason in an era of going for it.
Yeah, and like their defense wasn't just like stuffing the Steelers at all in any way where it's like you could trust it. So like
no, not at all. So I really don't know what to make too much of the Steelers. They beat the Browns, which was impressive, but they got demolished by the 49ers, and the Raiders are sad.
And they like didn't look great against them. Like there was some good. The offense looked a little bit better. Apparently, instead of firing Canada like the fans were telling them to, they promoted him apparently, so that he would spend more time with Kenny Pickett, and it looked a little better.
Maybe like Kenny Pickett was teaching him how to coach the offense.
That Calvin Austin kid they have is fast.
Oh yeah, super fast. But yeah, the Browns are the last team.
Impressive.
And, oh boy, Nick Chubb is now Nick Stubb.
Oh man, you could. I said
basically
this.
has one leg now.
Ian, on that video, as I said, you could have taught geometry on that thing. You could have put every angle on that. Obtuse, acute, right?
Boys and girls, this is a right angle.
This is a circumference.
But if your plane starts at 0 and it goes backwards, you're at negative 90 degrees.
That was gruesome. That was one of the... I know that they fixed it now because of what happened last year, but when they were like, we're not going to show this because it's too gruesome, when last year they showed us a guy literally die on the field over and over and over again.
Stroking out.
Yeah. I'm happy you fixed it, but I mean, come on.
Right. This sucks for Chubb because it's the second tear of, I am sure, all of the ligaments in his knee that he tore before. He tore his MCL, PCL, and LCL, and now he tore his ACL in that same knee that he tore. That was back in college. But just there's really nothing else other to say than that's super unlucky.
Yeah, that was so brutal.
Grass or turf, that's not.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, that's nothing there. That just happens no matter what.
Do you think maybe players hit each other harder than before? There's no way.
I don't know.
But
wait, we need to talk about this one last thing.
I forgot something too. Yeah, go ahead. You go.
The Cowboys. What was that?
Oh,
I mean,
we didn't talk about the Cowboys or the Cardinals. I don't give a fuck about.
No,
the
I
Cardinals.
don't care about the Cardinals. But what was that,
Cowboys, man? After looking like the most impressive team the first 2 weeks, they turn around and do that.
And then Dak throws the most Dak interception I've ever seen, just straight into the linebacker's hand.
They pulled a Colorado.
They did. I mean, the Cardinals were flying all over the place. They looked awesome. And it was just so funny because they thought they were so high and mighty and so good and we're going to win the Super Bowl. They did this whole thing, and I said, I asked Nate, I said, is it going to hurt even more when they disappoint you when they look this good? And he was devastated about Trayvon Diggs over the wedding weekend.
Tearing his ACL, yep.
I guess he really did mean something there because Lordy. And it seems like they can't play from behind now.
I really hope Stephen A. said that loss to the Cardinals was as bad as my first pitch. I really hope he said that on air.
He's going to have a field day. I watched his TikTok of him laughing over and over again. It's my favorite thing after our Cowboys' embarrassing loss is when Stephen A. just...
The Cowboys!
Yeah. Cowboy hat and cigar.
But yeah, holy shit. That was... I'm glad we packed all of that into this.
Yeah. Do you want me to do my fast minute? I've got it written down already.
Oh, go ahead.
All right, everyone. My Twitter has been lit up with this tush push, the brotherly shove, as I like to call it. I'm Jalen Hurts. I squat 600 pounds on one. There's a bunch of discourse. Some people have called for Jalen Hurts' head. Chris Sims, that clown, said that the defense should try and, quote, kill him. So, yeah, it's kind of egregious, and I'm kind of pissed off about it. Like, genuinely, get over it. So here I have some notes real quick, and I'll just run through them, and then we can be done. 2 easy solutions. Don't let us get to 3rd or 4th and 1, or figure out how to do it. Or figure out how to do it yourselves. Other teams have done it and haven't run it as well as the Eagles do. 2. People calling for Hurts' head to get injured, or Chris Sims saying defenses should try and, quote, kill him, is such a Bush League bullshit move. The push behind rarely is the most effective part about it. The offensive line, specifically, who is one of the most best offensive lines of all time, specifically Jason Kelce, one of the best centers of all time, and Hurts are the motors behind the truck, even according to one of the best defenders of all time who tweeted today that exact thing, basically, J.J. Watt. Never saw anyone bitch about it when Brady was automatic at QB sneak, and everyone hates him, so I don't know what your problem is now. People saying it's a dangerous play, I don't see how it's any different from a regular QB sneak or handing the ball off to a running back who can go at full speed and either leap or run head into the back of his offensive lineman. So in conclusion, get over yourselves, you anti-football losers who don't appreciate the fact that we can line up our guys against yours and bully you every time. You whiny babies.
Every time I see someone complain about it, there's this one guy on Twitter that always complains about ban too high safeties, ban too high zone. He's like, ban this defensive concept. No.
When we won the Super Bowl, we kind of brought the RPO to the full. Everyone was talking about the RPO after that year, and teams figured out how to do it. So I don't know why anyone's bitching about this. Just figure it out. It's not that hard. Just get your quarterback to squat 600 pounds and you'll be fine. Bye, everyone.
It is wild. Get the right person. Everyone, hey, get a good offensive line. Get a good quarterback.
If you watch It's literally, honestly,
Beef
most
up.
of it.
Get up in the weight room. Come on.
Most of it's Jason Kelsey. He is so good at it. It's mostly him half the time.
The team that get lower wins.
And Matt
they
Man
can
gets
get lower.
low.
Get low. Get low. Get low. Oh,
Get lower than Romeo
You
and
know
Juliet.
we lost it at the wedding when that came.
All right.
Come on and talk it to me one more time. Get low.
Get low. Get low,
Alright,
Ian.
I know we said we wanted to keep this under an hour and a half. It's been an hour 43.
It's really hard when there's 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's tough. But that's okay. A lot of shit happened.
Yeah, it did.
And we wanted to make this one have a little bit more spice.
It needed to mean a little bit more. It did.
Because it's episode 69.
And you know what you do when you're 69, Ian. At least us.
RJ, you get a little bit munch.